If you work from home, then you should be familiar with the home office deduction. This is a deduction that can be worth up to thousands of dollars, but so many people don't take it because they either don't know about it or they're too nervous to take it. Stick around. Hey, my name is Mark Tu, and I'm a CPA who specializes in helping online resellers with taxes and with growing their businesses profitably. 2020 has been a crazy year for everyone, and my family is no exception. It's kind of a long story, but we've ended up living in 4 different places. But the good news is that I think this 4th one is going to be a winner. We just moved into a new home, and this room is going to be my new office where I manage both my CPA business and my online reselling business. And just having this space that I work in with my own business opens up the possibility of me being able to take the home office deduction. More people than ever before in history are working from home, and many of them are going to be able to take the home office deduction. First of all, I just want to note that the home office deduction is available to you if you're a sole proprietor or a single member LLC. If you're an S Corp or a partnership or a multi-member LLC, then the way that you take the equivalent of the home office deduction is a little bit different. But in this video, I'm going to be talking specifically about the home office deduction available to sole proprietors and single member LLCs. The 2 main requirements to be able to take the home office deduction are regular and exclusive use and principal place of business. And you don't necessarily need an entire room to meet these requirements. You can also use just a space or a portion of a room, ideally with some type of clear division. So number 1 is regular and exclusive use. So let's talk about the regular part of that. The IRS doesn't specify what regular means. This is one where you just have to be reasonable. As long as you're using that space for a few hours each day, you should have nothing to worry about. But the exclusive use portion of that first requirement is one that the IRS is a little bit more picky about. If you use your kitchen table for your business during the day, but then for family dinner at night, then it doesn't meet the exclusive use requirement. And the IRS isn't going to let you deduct that space as part of the home office deduction because it doesn't meet the exclusive use requirement. The second requirement is that the space be your principal place of business. I know resellers who spend most of their time working out of a warehouse and the rest of their time at a home office. Even if you meet the regular and exclusive use requirement, if you spend most of your time working somewhere else, then you don't qualify for the home office deduction. The exception to this is if you have a home office in a separate, unattached structure like a shed or a garage. And another exception that is particularly beneficial to resellers is that even if you don't meet the regular and exclusive use requirements or the principal place of business requirements, any space you use for inventory can still be used for the home office deduction. But typically only if your home is the only place where you store that inventory. And something that I recently talked about in another video is that the home office deduction is not an audit trigger. This is an idea that has persisted for decades, but even if it was an audit trigger at one time, it no longer is because it's so commonplace and there have been legislative changes that have simplified the process of taking the home office deduction. On most of the reseller tax returns that I do, we claim the home office deduction, and in some cases it's worth thousands and thousands of dollars. So there are 2 methods you can choose from when you claim the home office deduction. You can use the traditional method, which is the one that's been around for a long time, or you can use the simplified method, which has only been around the last few years. The traditional method just looks at the space that your office takes up as a proportion of your total home. So if you work out of a 100 square foot office space and your entire home or apartment is 1,000 square feet, it's going to use 10% and apply that 10% to a lot of your different shared expenses like your utilities, your mortgage interest or rent, your property taxes, and expenses like that that have a shared component between your personal life and your business. The simplified method is just that. It's simple. You get $5 per square foot up to 300 square feet. So if your office is 100 square feet, then your deduction is 100 times $5, so $500 deduction. If your office is 310 square feet, you can only include 300 square feet. So 300 times the $5 deduction is a $1,500 deduction. That's the maximum deduction you can get with the simplified method. Let's say you live in a huge home with no mortgage payment and minimal utilities, and your office space is really small. Your office is only going to account for a small percentage of your total home, so when you multiply it by your low home expenses, it's not going to yield a very high deduction. So in that case, it might make more sense to use the simplified method. But let's say you live somewhere in California where you're paying $3,000 a month for a 1-bedroom, 500 square foot apartment. If you use 100 of those square feet for your business, 20% of your total apartment is your business. So in that case, you'll take 20% of your rent, your renter's insurance, your utilities, and expenses like that. In just factoring your rent alone, which will be $36,000 per year, you take 20% of that, and that's over $7,000. So that's over a $7,000 deduction you'll get from using the traditional home office deduction method. You already know by now that with taxes, there are exceptions for everything, and you don't need to know all the specifics of the home office deduction right now. But what I want you to remember and be aware of are the requirements to take the home office deduction, so the regular and exclusive use and the principal place of business. And there are two different methods you can use, and you want to make sure that you're using the method that is more beneficial for you. So if you prepare your own taxes, just make sure you use the one that yields the biggest deduction. Or if you have a CPA or a tax preparer do it for you, make sure that they're looking into which one is more beneficial for you. This probably won't be the last time I talk about the home office deduction, so make sure you subscribe and get notified of my future videos. And make sure you check out the links below so you can learn more about how to get your taxes and accounting on track in your reselling business. For more tips and behind the scenes, check out @NotYourDadCPA on Instagram, and together we'll help you optimize your tax situation so you can reduce the anxiety and grow your business profitably.